get full? So good. One second. Yeah, so good. Can you guys hear me okay? Is the mic okay? Yes, in the back? You guys good? Perfect. Okay. So we are going to talk again about developing leaders, because everybody here wants to develop leaders, right? Yes! Do it again. Yes. So first of all, I thought it would be helpful if I shared my story a little bit, because there's a theme that I keep hearing a lot of the recruiters in this room say, and that's that you have to offer to everyone you don't know, don't prejudge, all those things. So I want you guys to listen carefully to this one. I was a hostess for 2 years, and I was in a cooking club with my consultant. I saw her every single month for an entire year, and I was never once offered the opportunity. Whoa! And that was Jean Jonas.
I can't believe that, Mary.
Right. So all she saw was that I was a homeschooling mom and I was busy. What she didn't know was that very first party when she came to my house, I thought, oh my gosh, I can totally do this and get out of the house and talk to grown-ups. She had no idea because she never asked. I'm sure there was something in my host packet, right? But putting a flyer in your host packet is not recruiting. It's informing, it's not inviting. Okay? So fast forward, I messaged her and I said, or I was talking to my husband and I said, okay, so I have an idea. And he was like, all right, what's the idea? And I said, okay, so the walls are caving in. I need to get out of the house a little bit. And he was like, okay, what are you like, gonna go get coffee? Like, what's the story? And I said, nope. I said, I am gonna go get a job at Target because I'm in there all the time anyway, and they give employee discounts. And he was like, that's totally not gonna work because he works for a medical software company, and so he actually works from home. So we travel a lot, we homeschool, we love the flexibility. He said, you can't be tied down to somebody else's calendar. He said, then you have to work like holidays and weekends, and that's not cool. And he said, what about Pampered Chef? And I said, huh, that's actually a good idea. And so he recruited me.
Did you sign under the girl that?
I did. I messaged her and I said, because I didn't know anybody else. And I said, I didn't know Marna Ross. And so I said, hey, I'm thinking about doing this consultant thing, give me some info. And of course she was like, whoa! So, yeah.
I can imagine now.
Right now. Yeah, now she's really happy. And so,
Ask everybody, how many of you recruit yourself?
look at that, you guys. How many recruited themselves? That's the question. Yes.
A lot of people.
Yeah. So do you understand the power? I mean, and there were national executives and executives that raised their hands. These aren't hobby consultants, you guys. Right? So you need to think about that when you're thinking about recruiting and you got that tape playing in your head saying, I'm scared, I don't know what to say, I don't know. You're not going to say the wrong thing to the right person. You're just not. If she had fumbled through a conversation with me and just offered, I would have been like, heck yeah, let's do this, right? So you have to make sure that you're offering. And then let's talk about developing leaders. So I want to talk about kind of the pivot point for me. I fast-tracked to director. My goal when I started, I wanted to get out of the house 2 nights a week and I wanted to make $500 a month. That's it. This was not a financial thing for us. This was just mom trying to save her sanity. In fact, my little guy, or my number 3, he came up to me, he's like, Mom, this Pampered Chef thing. He said, can I go with you to your parties? And I was like, no. No, that's super sweet, but no. So I started out with live parties, and I fast-tracked because $500 a month was what I wanted to make, and that was pretty stupid not to go for $500 a month in one shot, right? And so I fast-tracked to director, and then I spent a solid year floundering. My director had never promoted a director before, right? They didn't know what to do with me. I was out selling her. I stopped recruiting because I just didn't know what to do, right? So then I went to my first conference, and it was 2016, and that was the year that Stacy Itzel for the first time got Circle of Honor in recruiting. And I vividly remember her standing up there holding back tears. I also very vividly remember that the top 5 was only 2 people. It was Sharon Zellen and Stacey Etzel. And I thought, what the heck is going on here? Because I also saw at conference all the ribbons. All the ribbons. That was my first conference. I only had like 3, right? And so I saw all the ribbons and I'm like, well, crap, I want all the ribbons. Because nobody gives you a ribbon when you teach somebody to read. Nobody gives you a ribbon when you teach somebody how to do a math problem, right? So I wanted the recognition. Like, I wanted the ribbon. And so I messaged my director and I said, okay, here's the deal. I had 11 people on my team, only 1 of which was active, and she messaged me during conference and told me she was quitting. Yeah. And so, again, not a good place to be, right? And so I messaged my upline, and I said, listen, my upline, like my grandma, and I said, hey, I think I want to be a senior director by next conference. I was like, is that crazy? And she's like, yeah, crazy awesome. I'm like, okay, I think I want to do it. And I had no clue what I was doing, but then LEAD came along, the LEAD program. And that 8 and 2, that secret sauce, really pushed me to do the personal recruiting and the developing leaders. And we became an advanced director team on October 1st of that year, a senior team on April 1st of the next year, and then an executive team on January 1st of the following year. So it was, when you think about it, that moment, like what Love was talking about with the virtual parties, that shift in my mind, it was a year and 4 months to executive from when it shifted. So you guys, wherever you're sitting right now, think about what you could accomplish in a year or less than a year. People are doing faster than me, you guys, right? You can do it so quickly. There's no secret, there's no magic, but it is about developing leaders, okay? So one thing I think it's really important to talk about and remember is that career plan advancement doesn't happen in a bubble. And Love and Myrna talked about this, those 3 cultures. It does not happen outside of those other 2 cultures. You have to have teamwork and monthly activity. You have to have fast-paced recruiting. You cannot have career plan advancement without it. In fact, I've been asked to speak a couple times on developing leaders, and I'm like, well, who's talking about the other 2? I want to know that they're going to be covered because everybody thinks there's some secret sauce to developing leaders, but if you don't have teamwork and monthly activity and you don't have fast-paced recruiting, you're never going to develop leaders. It's not going to happen. So what I want you guys to do is look at your cultures when you go home and figure out what cultures are broken and what cultures you need to fix. And then also think about the fact that it takes time. Just because I decided I wanted to develop leaders did not mean I was going to develop leaders overnight. It took a good amount of time for me to reset my team culture and rebuild my team. And if you don't like your team culture, get a new team. Seriously, you guys, because you get to change the culture as they come in, right? Those new people coming into your team, they have no clue what those old people are thinking or doing, right? The new are fresh blood, and you get to create the culture that you want. For team, I'm just going to give you guys some practical things that we've done. And again, you're going to see lots of different people do lots of different things. Pick one thing and run with it. Don't try it for a month and say it doesn't work. It's time, guys. It's time. So for teamwork and monthly activity, we do Green by the 15th. We do a drawing. And I send them a little postcard. My assistant does it now, but I send them a little postcard. And that come on, it's $150 by the 15th, right? But you need to recognize it. You recognize all good things. And I used to do a drawing for everyone that was green. I would go live on my team page on the 16th. I would do a drawing, like a $5 Starbucks gift card. It is still a culture in my team, and they freak out if they're not going to be green by the 15th. Like, they get very upset. Like, I'm not going to be green by the 15th. And I'm like, you realize you're so trophy. Like, it's okay if it's the 16th. My host is going to hold her show. And I'm like, it's okay. Like, I'm off the ledge. We also do organization-wide booking blitzes. Now, I'm going to be straight up with you guys. I hate booking blitzes. Like, I hate booking blitzes. Why can't you book shows at your shows? Like, why do we have to have a booking blitz for you guys to sit down book shows, right? But they love it. They love it. So what we do, we have figured out strategic times in the year when there's that dip, right? So we did it in January. We'll probably do it again. In April after this recruiting blitz that we're having this month to make sure all those new people have got their calendars in shape. Okay, so we pick strategic points where we typically see a dip, and then we try to get them back engaged and energized. So what I typically do is I create an event in our team group, so it invites everybody automatically, easy peasy, and we throw something. So it depends on what it is, what time of year it is. We just did a snowball booking blitz in January. And so what we do is we give them some words to say. We give them words to say to book the parties based on whatever time of year it is. My leaders will go live, we'll do some training. We set them up with an accountability partner. They pick somebody to buddy up with, so they're working together. Someone that is not their director. We do this org-wide. So someone that's not their director, so they've got a buddy, they're building relationships with other people in the organization. And then when they book a party, we set everything up. When they start booking a party, we blitz for 3 days. They post on this event, so it blows up literally for 3 days. We had to take it out of our team group because it just got madness, and it's a separate event. So they throw a snowball, and they tag someone else. They throw it at someone, okay? So what does that do when you tag somebody on Facebook? They get a notification, right? So you're pulling those other people in. And then my newbies are like, I don't know anybody, I don't know who to tag. I'm like, hang on, let me find somebody. So I will tell them who to tag, okay? Because I want to pull those people in. And then it's just kind of an unspoken rule that they have 24 hours to throw the snowball back at somebody else, right? So usually I try to stay out of it. I try to stay out of it because I want them, I'm kind of watching and coaching and stuff on the back end. But some newbie inevitably tags me in something. And so this was my post when I scheduled a party and I threw it back to somebody else. So I was like, seriously, bro, go another one. So they will do GIFs, they will do memes, they will do anything funny. It is fun, and it gets stuff on their calendar, you guys. It also builds energy because they're seeing all these other people booking shows, and they're like, wait, the people that are the naysayers are like, nobody wants to book a party. Look at these 140 parties that we booked in 3 days, okay? There's 140 hostesses sitting out there. So, and we set goals to beat those. So those are something fun that you can do just to kind of help with monthly activity. Let's see. We also do, again, during this lulls, we will do a boot camp, and this gets really funny. I've dressed up in camo and other stuff before. So we'll do like back to school, back to business, some sort of business boot camp. You guys, it's all the same information we've been telling them, but we condense it into 4 weeks. So we will focus on bookings, we'll focus on host coaching, recruiting. We also focus on belief. That first week we spend on belief. Because if it's a lull in the business, their belief is pretty low for most of them, right? So we need to get their belief back up, and then we work on the basics of the business. So we'll do some fun drawings and stuff like that. It's basically director bound light is all it is. That's really all it is, you guys. We're just focusing. The business doesn't change. We all do the same thing over and over and over again. We tweak it for our personalities or whatever, but it's the same thing over and over. Let's see. Every post in your group, your team group, does not have to be training. You guys have some fun with them. We'll do like GIF or meme dance party. I mean, we'll do all sorts of silly stuff. If I feel like the activity in the group has lulled, or if I feel like they just need something fun, just throw something out there. Okay, everything does not have to be about training. Again, it's about building those relationships, and when you have a virtual team, it is harder because you're building that relationship virtually. They can't hear your voice all the time, they can't see you in person at monthly meetings, so make sure that you're doing some fun things just for fun. Like the bingo thing, I forgot we've done that before. There's lots of things that we've done just for fun. When it comes to recruiting, you must be personally recruiting or you can't expect your team to recruit. I think we've heard that before, right? Okay? So I tell my up-and-coming leaders that the secret sauce is 8 and 2. 8 shows submitted, 2 recruits a month. That is exponential growth, you guys. When you start really driving that home office didn't make up those numbers. That's from lead, and that's because that's what they see. 8 and 2 is the reason we're an executive team. I'm not playing, okay? I could get the 8 with my eyes closed, right? It was the 2 that was stretching me. And so when I started doing 2+ consistently a month, that's where you start to see the explosion, okay? Let's see. We also do opportunity events. Again, fast-paced recruiting, so you're going to want to do opportunity events. We've done them live, we've done them via Zoom, we've done them as a Facebook event. I literally hand this off to my leaders and I say, somebody pick 2 days. One the first of the month, one at the end of the month, and you guys pick the date, you pick the format, here are my templates, go. I don't have to micromanage that. If you don't have leaders, pair up with another leader, you guys. Stretch your time a little bit. So pair up with another leader that has similar goals, and you guys do it together. And that way you're not having to do every single thing. You want to start delegating some of those things out. If you have a team leader that is an aspiring leader, couldn't they do a virtual opportunity event? They're answering those same questions during a Q&A, right? You can be there as backup if they ask a really weird question, but you don't have to run the event. This also gives them the opportunity to put their leader legs on. Okay? So when we're trying to foster a culture of career plan advancement by celebrating new leaders as well. So all of our current leaders, they have their name. This was our December one. That was our team structure in December. And so every leader has their name up there. But do you see what I have on the end? Can you guys see that? It's a question mark. It's a question mark. I don't just put my structure up there. I put empty spots. And I've had people message me when they're working towards leadership. They message me and they're like, that's my spot. I'm calling it. Okay? So I leave open spots because we don't want to just stop growing, right? So we leave open spots, and then when their teams go green, I put a star or a check mark or something over that. I made this in Canva, you guys, and I've actually changed it up a little bit. I just use stars every month now because I got tired of changing the images. We set our team goals, all that fun stuff. So I think this is a bit towards the beginning of December. And then the other thing that I changed, getting them to push a little bit harder, I put 5K when they hit 5K team. I don't want them shooting for 5K, right? I want them shooting for 10 or 15K. So it changes to a bigger star with a 10K in it, or an even bigger star with a 15K in it, because I want them pushing past that. And I cannot tell you what this does for their teams. They have this little tribe mentality about their teams, right? They're like super excited about their director being green. I've had people message me, why is my director not green? I'm like, why don't you go ask her? Okay? Go ask her. Because what's that? That's not me holding them accountable, that's their team holding them accountable. Why are we not green yet? Because your director hasn't submitted 750? I can't say that, but they can go ask their director, right? Go ask your director. Check in, see what's going on, right? So that's just another way to keep the team accountable as well. I expect to be paid an executive title every single month. Does it happen every single month? No. But I expect to be paid, and this is the one way that I keep my teams accountable. Because they know if they don't get to green, there's no check mark or star going up on their name. And that hurts. Okay? They want to see it go to green. Okay? One thing I also recommend is to chat with other leaders while you're here. Ask them what they're doing to promote these cultures, you guys. We're all doing different things and we can all share ideas. So let's dig into a few nuts and bolts. You don't have to raise your hand, but how many of you would love to grow in the career plan this year? All right, so lots of you would love to grow their career plan. How many of you are tired of struggling to maintain title, or you're stressed about being green each month? Okay. How many of you believe that the PC career plan can truly change people's lives and financial futures? Yes. Okay. Huge, huge. So I'm going to break it down what we've seen as we grew our leader team from me to me plus 16 in less than 3 years, almost all virtually. I want you to think about a few things, and you can write them down if you like. But what does growth in the career plan mean for you personally? What does growth in the career plan mean for you personally, for your family? What does that mean? Does that mean you pay your mortgage? Does that mean you put your new car? You put your okay? So mine has changed. I wanted $500 so I could buy stuffed animals at the zoo. You know, we went. Now we're paying off our goal is to pay off our house in 5 years.
Wow.
I mean, that's what it can do, you guys. And debt-free college for my kids. I'll be damned if I'm going to send my kids to college and have them go into debt.
That's right.
Right? I will book more parties.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'll recruit more people. So that's what it means for me right now, personally. So what does it mean for you? The next question is, what does growth in the career plan mean for your team? Have you ever actually asked them that? I know one of my advanced directors, if she's not paid at title, they have trouble paying their mortgage. She might not be able to stay home with her child, right? I mean, what does it mean to your team? You need to know that. So I think those are questions that we have to answer when we're thinking about developing leaders. If we can keep the why of career plan growth and movement in front of us and in front of our teams, then it gives them laser focus and it gives them determination to get through the times that are going to be hard. And I'm not going to stand up here and lie to you and say that developing leaders is easy. Can it be quick? Yes, it can. But it's not easy, you guys. I think it's probably the hardest thing that we do in this business. And here's why. It's the part where we and our future leader have to dig down deep, and we have to find passion, we have to find determination, we have to find focus. They may never have had this, they may have never been pushed for a goal like this before, right? It's where we have to think through their mindset and how to get past mental blocks that they might have, past failures, past direct sales businesses, past whatever, negative voices from their families. Like, we've got to dig in with these people and get them past that. So I think, you know, we should get like a psychology degree to be leaders in this thing. We should work on training for that. That's my suggestion for home office. So there are lots of different facets for developing leaders. And as I was thinking about this, I've noticed kind of a pattern start to develop. And it's the same pattern over and over, very distinct stages when you're promoting a director. So I'm going to tell you guys what those stages are. I've seen it in almost every leader that our organization has promoted. And as I started to think through these, I realized they kind of look like marriage. They kind of look like marriage. You guys ready for this one? Yeah. Now, some people go through these stages a lot faster than other people, right? Sometimes it's slow, sometimes it's fast, but the stages are still there. I mean, I distinctly remember them when I promoted. So the first stage is when they initially start. They're in the honeymoon. They are in the honeymoon, you guys. Everything is sunshine and roses, right? Their friends have booked parties. They are selling a crap ton of spatulas, right? They're excited about everything. You post a meeting, they're like, I'm there! Yes! What do you have to tell me? Right? They're so excited. Every sales promo, every new product, they're stoked about getting the apron. They're excited about everything, right? Okay, they're on it. They show up for everything. And they are just zealous. They're zealous about Pampered Chef. They love Doris. They're going to go stalk her at her house, you know. She's got posters of Gene Jonas posted in their office. And they love you, right? They love you. They love you to pieces. Then all of a sudden they look up and they've got a new team member, right? They just had a baby, okay? They just had a baby. They are first-time parents, so they love the baby. They really love the baby. They answer the baby at every beck and call. They quickly and happily give the baby every single thing the baby needs, no matter what time of day it is. Even if they're, stage 2, yeah. Every time of day. Even if they're busy doing something else, the baby calls and they're like, oh, I have to answer the baby. The baby needs me. Okay? And you know what? They don't want you to do anything with the baby. Because if the baby gets in contact with any other human, it might get sick, right? It's my baby, and I'm keeping my baby. Don't touch my baby. You guys know what I'm talking about. You're laughing, okay? You're like, doggone it, I have trained so many consultants. Why can't I have that baby? No, don't touch my baby. I got this. I know I've only been doing this like 3 days, but I got this. I got this, right? So they hold the baby super tight and they won't let go no matter how much grandma just wants to hold the baby, right? So the third stage is when another baby appears. Oh no, there's another baby, right? So now they have an infant and they have a toddler that's wrecking the house, right? And the baby. And they try to treat baby number 2 just like baby number 1, and that is just not working. Anybody have mama 2? You know what happens. You know what happens, right? They're starting to get really tired because they're answering everything, right? They're trying to treat baby number 2 just like baby number 1. It's just not working. Laundry and dishes are starting to pile up because for the love of all the spatulas, the babies do not sleep at the same time, right? They don't. Like, they're just all over the place, all over the place. The next stage is a harder one because they've been so good at reproducing themselves, all of a sudden they give birth to twins. Whoa, there's twins, there's 2 of them at the same time. And you, leader, grandma, are so flippin' excited because you see the end. They've got 4! They're almost there! And you're like, yes, I see it! Right? I see the goal in sight. You see the promotion coming, but not mom. Mom wants to quit. She's like, I can't do this anymore. You see the promotion, but she can't see it because It's hard juggling 4 children. It's hard juggling 4 children, okay? And so mom wants to quit. And I had one leader say to me at this point, I'm not recruiting anymore. Like, I could hear it in her voice. She was like doing this. I'm not recruiting anymore, like shaking her head. And I said, why? She's like, this is so hard. And I'm like, no, you're just doing it wrong. We're gonna work through this. We're gonna work through this. It's okay. Let me step in. So this is where you, as their leader, Grandma, must step in. They may look like they've got it, but they don't. You have got to step in. Hear me on this one, okay? You help those new little people with coaching and training. We need to get them to feed themselves. We need to get them to wipe their own bottoms, okay? And you've got to keep mom off the ledge because she's gonna jump, all right? This is where I have to tell people it's gonna get easier. Don't give up right now, you're way too close. You're way too close. And it's only gonna be painful for just 1 second and then we're gonna work through it, okay? The next stage is a little easier. The babies are growing up a little bit. They've got a bunch of young children, maybe a teenager that's starting to emerge. Everyone's able to fix their own snack. They can go to the bathroom by themselves. Mom's sleeping again, right? They finally see the end, and there's kind of a resurgence of energy. They're like, oh, we're gonna do this, oh my gosh. They're making this happen. They're like head down, they're doing it. Then the last stage hits. This is always right before they promote. They've got teenagers. They've got 5 of them, right? They've got 5 teenagers, maybe a toddler in there somewhere and a baby. The teenagers don't want to talk to mom anymore because all of a sudden they know better than mom because they're teenagers, right? They're not communicating with their director at all. Director has no idea, potential director has no idea what's going on. They don't know who has parties, who has sales to submit. They're clueless because they're not responding, right? So this is where mom starts to like go into full-blown panic, like full-blown panic. I had one of them like talking so fast I could barely understand her. Oh my gosh, I thought I could do this, and now it's the last week of the month, and I don't know if we can make it. And you can hear them like hyperventilating over the phone, right? This is where tough love comes in. This is where you, leader, have to get in their face a little bit. And you have to tell them to calm the heck down, okay? I've got you. We're going to get through this, and here's how. We're giving them action steps. We're breaking down the numbers for them, okay? We're showing them, don't give up right now. I actually had one director tell me, this is the biggest thing right now. This part, do not give them permission to give up right now. Do not, okay? Because this is where they will want to give up. They'll be like, I'll just do it next month. No, do it now. We're gonna do it now. And I'm gonna come alongside you and I'm gonna help you and we're gonna get through it. But I had one leader tell me that mid-month, she had a potential leader that was all set up and ready to go, not on my team because I would have jumped in. But she had the 5 team members, almost had the sales, and she was struggling and decided to give up. She gave her permission to try it next month. I literally almost flew through the phone. I said, what? Like, no, you don't do that. You get them to push through, because guess what? On the 1st of the next month, it's going to be like, whoa, they've gotten it, right? So you don't give them permission to give up. Think about this for a second. How many people on your team have someone in their life that's willing to actually push them?
Probably none.
None. We don't have people in our life like that when we say, what's your goal and what do you want? What's your dream? And we're willing to hold them accountable to that dream, do we? We don't, you guys. Not outside of this business. They've got people in their life saying, you can't do it. I knew you couldn't do it. That's not for you. Only special people do that, right? You've got to be that person for them that's willing to dig down and just dig deep with them and get them promoted and get them to their goal. This is where you keep that why in front of them. This is why you ask them, what's this director title going to do for you? You have to keep them like motivated and engaged, okay? You have to do that. So you can see from this silly example, there's some stages, and I saw some nodding heads and giggling. So you guys have seen the stages before, right? It doesn't just happen. It takes time and energy investment on your part to get it done. So I want to walk through some practical things that we do to help foster that environment for bringing up leaders quickly and getting them to actually promote. It's like getting them across the finish line, right, for signing. It's the same thing. We just got to get them to actually promote. We just got to get the last few things in. Usually it's a few things. The other thing I'll tell you guys is, the not giving up. So we wanted to, my leaders and I, we wanted to promote to an executive team. It literally came down to 48 hours. 48 hours, the last 48 hours of the month. I'm looking at structure, I'm watching the numbers, I'm texting Judy, and I'm like, I don't think we're gonna make it, man. It's not gonna happen. And I had a random email from someone that signed up under someone on my team. So all of a sudden she had the 5. She had the 5, right? And I was like, I called her, she messaged me about something else, and she said, yeah, so-and-so's got blah, 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 turn in. I said, can she turn it in this month? And can New Girl find $150? And she's like, yeah, I think she might be able to. I'm like, awesome. And then I'm looking at our structure, and we're missing one team member on one team, and 48 hours left to go. Now, I could have said, what? We'll just go for it next month. It was October, but we could have totally gone for it next month, right? Or it was November. I was like, we could, we'll just do it again later. No, I called her and I said, listen, we need one team member on your team. You fast track, we promote to executive team. We need to find that one person. And she's like, I don't have anybody else. And I'm like, we're gonna find somebody else. And so we started digging, and for 48 hours we dug, and we found the last person, and she gathered $150 in sales. Okay? That's where we have to dig down, you guys. It would have been very easy for me to say, gosh guys, we're gonna have to do it next month or next year or whatever. But we dug down and we just got it done. Because it was much better on the other side. It was like, we didn't have to think about it anymore, right? So, when you sign someone, you need to we've heard this before, plant that seed for fast track. We need to be talking about fast track and growing a team. Ask about goals when they sign. If you're not asking them why they joined and what they want out of you or Jeff, come on guys. What do you want? What do you want your business to do for you? That's my first question. What do you want this business to do for you? Because I want to know. So if their goal is more than $500 a month, we're talking about growing a team quickly, right? Because that's the fastest way for them to get there. We still share fast track, but we're going to talk about that a little more intensely. We don't need to give them all the details, but give them a little bit. Would you be interested in working with me on this? Would you be interested in partnering with me on this so I can help you do that? The goal is to get them qualified as fast as possible, 30 days at the latest, right? And 2 friends that want to join you. Goal is to get you qualified, get that free whatever it is for the month, and find 2 buddies. It's more fun to do it with friends. They need to know. Make sure they know their 30 and 90-day dates, you guys. They need to know those. They must know those. So make sure they know where to find those. We talked about the benefits of recruiting for their first 90 days. What do they get? They get those extra PC dollars. Hello, right? So we want to make sure they get that. I also heavily use the Maximize the Opportunity brochure under recruiting and selling. So if they are interested in promoting, I have them read all the way up to director, and I have them come back to me with questions. Okay? So I have them go look at that. I tell them don't read past that because it's going to get confusing, but read up to director, and then we're going to talk about it. Make sure they understand it. So what if you have an older team? There's some of you guys that have been here for 20 years, 15 to 20 years. So what if you have an older team? Well, if you didn't ask them about fast track in the beginning because it didn't exist or you just didn't, that's okay. Go fishing. You have to go fishing. I don't post this on our team page. Hey, who wants to be a leader? Raise your hand. No, nobody's gonna respond to that. It's just like a booking post on Facebook when they're like, hey, who wants to book a party? And nobody comments, right? It's the same thing. So I make it special. I reach out to them personally, okay? And we also do a Get Them Where You're Looking For event. This is really simple, you guys. I got this from Stacy Itzel. It is just an event that I create in my team group, and it just walks through the benefits of the career plan. It's very simple, because I will tell you, most of your team has no clue how much they can earn with the career plan. They really don't. That is the comment that I get the most. They're like, I had no idea I could earn this much. I disclose my paycheck. I have my other leaders disclose their paychecks. We're very transparent.
What did you call it?
And Get Them Where You're Looking For. I can share my template in the that in the group too. Yeah, it's really, guys, when you see it, you're gonna be like, that's it? Yeah, that's it. It's really not that hard. It's just breaking down the career plan, showing them the earning potential, that's it, okay? So we do that, and then I use a Google form to ask them where they see themselves in the career plan. I'll also share that so you guys can look at what I asked, okay? So that's fishing, like we're fishing. Because here's the deal, even though someone may not be consistent or they may not be interested 6 months ago when you ask them, you don't know if their husband lost their job, right? You don't know if they've had another kid and want to stay home. You have no idea what life has changed around them. So this is something we do about once a quarter, just to make sure that information is out there, because we're having newbies come in all the time, right? So we just want to make sure that information is fresh and that they can see it. I also watch stats, you guys. We talked, I think Love and Marna talked about this. Anyone who is consistently selling any amount, I don't care who they are or how much they're selling, if they're consistently selling $1,000, if they're consistently selling $500, if they can sell consistently, they can recruit. They just don't know how. Okay, so I want to watch for those people that are consistent. And then I reach out to them with something like, hey girl, oh my goodness, you're doing such an amazing job at blah, blah, blah. I have to ask, have you ever thought about being part of our leader team? I don't use the word director a lot. It's a title. I use leader a lot, okay? When I talk about our leader team, I use words like we and us. I don't say my girls or my team, it's we and us. So we are a team, we are a tribe. So you may want to think about how you talk about your team, okay? So it's all encompassing. If this is actually a great time to do this, I'm actually planning to do this week. I print out that communication log from Consultant Connection, the reports. And Love Carpenter taught me this trick. She takes a highlighter and goes down every Monday and marks it. So it breaks it up into 4 sections. So my first section for this month, I'm going to be reaching out to every single person on my personal team because we've lost some leaders, and so I've had some roll up, and I haven't had direct communication with some of those people. So I'm going to say something like this. Hey girl, I'm just checking in. I'm resetting my goals for this spring. Are you happy with your business right now, or would you like more?
And these are to your personal team members?
My personal team, yes, my personal team. And I tell my leaders to do the same thing. Some of them do, some of them don't. Right? Are you happy with your business right now, or would you like more? And some of them are going to say, I'm good. Great. Is there anything I can help you with? Nope. Okay, good. Keep on trucking, right? But some of them are going to say, you know what, I really would like more. I kind of would like to, pay off my house, or I would like to pay off my car, or pay off my credit cards, or whatever it is. But we have to ask, and it does take some personal time. I also do, if you're not doing director bound, you guys need to be doing director bounds, okay? But let me clarify something. Director bound is not what promotes leaders. The one-on-one coaching is what promotes leaders. Director bound is just training, you guys. And so you don't do that one-on-one, you do that in groups. Because we coach one-on-one, we train in groups, okay? So you want to make sure that you're doing some sort of director bound. So you can partner with other leaders and do a director bound. You can use the material from home office. I've actually condensed mine in the past. We used to do the 6 weeks home office formula. We've condensed it to 4 so we can promote them faster. Am I doing that? So I want to make sure we're promoting them faster. So we condense it down to 4 weeks. Again, we're covering the basics. That's all we're doing. But we're talking about it from a leadership perspective and a recruiting perspective. So we're putting recruiting in all of those places, right? They also, in director bound, they have to get on a coaching call once a week with me, or they're asked to leave the director bound group. You don't want to be here. I don't want you here, because that's my time and it's precious, and you don't fit on my pie chart anymore, right? It's not personal, guys, it's business. I need to make sure I'm investing my time with those people who are going to value my time and who are going to respond to my coaching, right? So if they don't show up for a leader call, we also do not record them. I don't record training calls. If you want the training, you show up to the training. So I found that I was recording them. Julie Aldridge called me out on this one. She was doing some training for my leaders, and she looked at me and she's like, this one's going to step on your toes a little bit. And I was like, oh no. And she said, I never recorded meetings. If you want the training, you show up for the meeting. Right? That's what you have to do. And I had one of my up-and-coming leaders, he said to me, he said, hey, so I missed the director-bound call. I fell asleep. What'd I miss? So guess what I said? I said, you know what, friend? I said, I spent over an hour preparing for it and 30 minutes delivering it. I don't have an extra hour and a half right now. You guys, I mean, I'm direct, but you guys have to put some berms around your time. Don't drag people. I also have a rule I saw on one of the cards that they were passing around that people miss coaching calls. Like, what do you do if they don't show up to the coaching call? I have a 3 strikes rule. If you don't show up for 3 calls with me, you don't get on my calendar again. That is 30 minutes that you just took from somebody else. Right? If you don't respect my time enough to show up at our appointment that you got an email about, that you knew about, I can't put you back on my calendar, right? It's just saying. Just saying. Okay, so our one-on-one coaching calls, they always start with bookings, always. And they've gotten used to that. That's my first question. Okay, tell me about your show calendar. What's going on with your show calendar? Because, like Marta said, you're not going to recruit people by posting sell 10 spatulas or sell 10 microwave pasta cookers, right? That's not how they recruit. They recruit at shows. They've got to be in front of people. So I need to know that they're having shows. So I'm asking them, okay, tell me about your show calendar. How many do you have? So they've learned after the first call or so, they immediately start with that. Okay, I've got this many bookings, and I've talked to this hostess, and I've done. So they start giving me the details. So it's a set time each week that we set together. We also set a promotion goal date in those calls. And you guys, if it's like way out, if they're like, okay, so I want to promote, but I'm thinking I want to promote by, it's March now. I want to promote by like July 1st, so I can walk at conference. I'm like, no, we're going to do it in 45 days or 30. Yeah. Because they don't believe they can do it. So when I say most leaders on our team promote in 30 days, they're like, oh, okay. They've just got this like end goal out here. They have no idea. But when we start working on their show schedule and we get their show schedule up, and then I'm keeping them accountable to asking their host and finding those rock stars on their party, they're going to recruit quickly and they're going to promote. They just don't know it yet, right? Because it's easier, if you guys think about this, it's easier to promote faster than it is to promote slower. Because if you've got like a 6-month window, you recruit one, and then you recruit another one, and then you get to month 3, this person's gone. They decide they don't want to do it anymore. And it's a constant churn at senior consultant and team leader. So it's much easier to just put your head down and focus and get it done faster. And they can recruit 4 or 5 people in a month, especially this month. Hello. Yeah. They can do it. So set that promotion goal date. They need to have a vision board. If they don't have a vision board, then I make them make a vision board, and they need to show it to me. And then we're going to track. It needs to have 5 spots on something, made out of something, a flower petal, a soccer ball, whatever they want to put on there, right? But every time they have someone sign, they're going to be putting those names. So it needs to be visible to them, okay? They also do 3-way conversations or screenshots, so we're primarily virtual. So before they ask somebody, I say before you ask somebody, please message me. Okay, so team member is going to say, hey Mary, okay, I want to ask my hostess. Okay, tell me a little bit about her. And I'm going to tell her exactly what to say. And she's going to copy paste and she's going to send it. And I say, stop talking. Send me the screenshot when she responds. Because sometimes they get a little excited when they respond. And then they start messaging you back. I'm like, no, stop. So send it back to me. I'm going to tell you what to say. And we go back and forth like that. That is OJT, guys. That is on-the-job training. So they're hearing me overcome the objections. It's not even them talking, so it makes them a little braver, doesn't it? Because they're not having to come up with the words to say. They're just copying and pasting. Those 3-way conversations, or those messenger screenshots are huge. And this is a big investment in time when you're promoting leaders, but you guys, it's well worth it. It's well worth it, okay? You might have random leaders promote just by accident, like me. You might have those random ones come along, but it's not the norm. It's not the norm. It's the people that you really invest in. And it really is about servant leadership. I think we've heard that said before. When I hear people say, I've heard people say, I don't want to promote leaders because I'm okay staying where I am in the career plan. So you're telling me that you don't want to promote leaders because you're okay staying where you are in the career plan? Like, that's not okay. What does the career plan do for that other person? That's selfish, right? So you have to have servant leadership and really looking at the ways that this is going to serve them, okay? It's the wrong perspective. Accountability is huge. Like I said, you guys are the only ones that are going to keep them accountable to their goal. Their kids, their husband, I've discovered in my life, my husband is not the person to keep me accountable when I have a diet plan or an exercise plan, okay? Because he loves me, and if I'm having a bad day, not only will he let me eat the ice cream, he will go buy me the ice cream, right? So he's the wrong person for me to ask about that. Okay, he's good at other things, but that is not one of them, right? So make sure that you are that person for them because they don't have those other people in their life. And I think we've heard this before, there are no magic words, you guys. You just have to keep telling them, I've been where you are, I'm doing this with you. I tell them all the time, I will bleed and sweat with you all day long if you match me effort for effort. I will walk beside you, I will do everything with you, but you have to match me. One thing you need to make sure you're doing too as you're developing these leaders is watch their numbers for them. They are so discombobulated by recruiting 5 people, they have no idea which end is up. They're thinking they've got to have like 7,000 or 5,500 and 4, I mean, they have no idea. So you have got to be the one that watches those numbers for them and keeps updating them. Don't depend on them to do it. You have to be the one to watch those numbers for them. If you've never promoted a leader, then you need to work with your upline. If your upline has never promoted a leader, then you need to find somebody else, okay? Find somebody that will partner with you. Find somebody. Another thing I do is if my directors are promoting leaders, I heard this said, well, about love. Well, you're a love carpenter, everybody listens to you. And I kind of wanted to chuckle. I'm Mary Haynes and nobody listens to me. You guys are listening to me, but my team has no idea who I am. And my Love's team doesn't have any idea who she is. Marna Ross's team has no idea who she is, right? Nancy Jo, your newbies have no idea who you are. They don't listen. They don't listen because they have no idea who you are. Okay? So what I will do is I will do a 3-way call with my director and their potential leader. I'll do one call with them. And what I do on that call is I'm asking them those questions. This is when they're starting to develop leaders. They're starting to get their, their own little family over there. I ask them questions like, okay, what's it going to mean for you? All that sort of stuff. And then, guess what I'm saying to them? I'm building that belief. Their grandma, have taken time out of my day to spend with them. They've now got the buy-in. They're like, oh my gosh, Mary's amazing. I don't know who she is or what she does, but that was so much fun. I'm building that belief in them, right? I'm also saying things like, oh my gosh, Marna's your director and she's amazing and you are in such good hands. So I'm edifying my downline director as well, right? Because I'm saying, she's got you. She's got you. Okay, she knows what she's doing. You need to do everything she says because she did it too, right? Because they don't know who their director is either. Even if they're a top performer, they have no idea, okay? So make sure that you guys are doing those things, the accountability, the coaching calls, and I want to say one last thing about dragging people. You guys, they have to decide on their own. They have to decide on their own, all right? It is okay to let the dead weight go. I'm giving you guys permission. It is okay. Because the more you're dragging those people and looking back, the less you're looking forward. You've got to let those people go, guys, okay? Like, yeah.
It's called bless and release.
Bless and release. Bless and release, right? It's okay. This is the cycle of the business. Some people are going to say, some people are going to go, some people are going to say they want it, but they're not willing to work for it, right? So it's okay. All right, I'm going to let you guys ask questions really quick. Is there any, yeah?
How do you help change that culture? Like right now, the team is not in that culture of recruiting.
Teamwork and monthly activity is where it starts. You must start with teamwork and monthly activity, okay? You can't build a recruiting culture unless they have activity, right? So you've got to work on teamwork and monthly activity. Reward behaviors you want repeated. Green by the 15, bookings, whatever it is. Reward that behavior and then start the recruiting. Make sense? You've got to start there.
Where is that maximize the opportunity brochure that
It's
you talked
under
about?
recruiting and selling, and then I can find it. I'll find it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's under recruiting and selling, that tab, and then something. I can't remember. Yeah, it's just a PDF. It's great because it breaks down the whole career plan. Anything else, you guys? Are you guys gonna go out and develop leaders?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, you guys got it.
Wow. Excellent.
Wasn't that awesome?